Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to ask 3 questions. The first one is, why does motor 1 only stay on while I'm holding the momentary contact? As soon as I let go, the motor stops. The next one is, why does motor 2 stay on when I press the start latch push button? And lastly, the third question is, why does my motor turn off when I press the stop unlatch? So we'll discuss the various different ways in which PLCs handle memory, and the difference between an output to energize, an output to latch, and an output to unlatch. In this demonstration, I'll be using the CodeSys environment. We're going to talk about PLC scanning and how PLCs scan inputs and produce outputs. So the first thing to know is that PLCs scan from left to right. All inputs in a program are considered momentary, meaning the PLC does not know whether to hold the state or not. So the state of an input is only true while the input, the physical input, is actually true. And while it's false, the PLC will also read that as false. So in this example, we have a momentary push button that is represented in this visualization, and it's tied to this PB in, going to our very first rung in this ladder diagram. And you can see when I press the momentary push button, while I'm pressing the momentary push button, my motor is on. As soon as I let go, the motor turns off. The PLC does not know to store the state of this motor, so you have to explicitly tell the PLC to hold the state of outputs to hold the expected state. So the next demonstration we'll do is this start latch. This start latch push button is tied to PB in, and this is driving the output for motor 1, which is a set type coil. And what this set type coil does is it explicitly tells the PLC that this needs to retain its memory from scan to scan. In other words, if we press the push button, this output will stay on until we tell it to turn off. So I'll go ahead and push this start latch, and you can see that even though my push button 1 is false, my motor out is true because it's this S-type coil or set coil. Every set coil has to have an equivalent reset coil. And in Rockwell software, RS Logix 500, these are known as output to latch and output to unlatch. So an output to latch is the same thing functionally as a set coil, and an output to unlatch is the same thing functionally as a reset coil. So they're always configured in pairs, and to turn off a set type coil, you have to reset the coil to false. So we'll go ahead and do that with this stop unlatch push button, which is tied to PB number 2, and that will energize this reset coil and turn our motor off. So you can see from this demonstration that the PLC has to be told whether to store memory of outputs or not. When it's a momentary push button tied to a output to energize coil, there is no memory from scan to scan. So this output is only going to reflect the state of the input. Again, if I press the momentary push button while I'm pressing it, the motor is on. As soon as I let go, the motor turns off. So in order to configure this as a latching type coil, you have to either latch it programmatically using logic, or you have to use a set type coil with a paired reset to reset the coil to false. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helps.